Some people say that the most important component of chicken rice is the chili sauce. Today, I'll be comparing the 3 common sauces accompanying chicken rice in Singapore. A good sauce enriches the taste of the chicken meat or the rice. More importantly, a good sauce is made from scratch and carefully balanced to champion a specific flavor. The 3 sauces are chili sauce, ginger sauce, and dark soy sauce. After making the best version of each from scratch, we'll compare which sauce tastes the best. First, the chili sauce. After analyzing how other creators have made their chili sauce, I see these 5 main components. We'll go with our favorite ingredient approach by analyzing each ingredient and then choosing the best type, starting with the chili. Which type of chili should be used for chili sauce? There are big red chilies, one from Malaysia and another from Vietnam, which is usually bigger than the Malaysia one and comes with a bigger stem. There is also small red chili, and I guess this is also known as bird's eye chili or chili padi, and dried chilies, which when grounded will get chili powder. And I'm using gochugaru from my last kimchi video. It's basically dried ground chili from Korea. For chili sauce, I think chili powder would work out too. We'll try out later to see how it compares versus fresh chilies. To decide which chili to use, I cut up a sample of each type of chili without the seeds so that we can taste just the flesh without any spiciness from the seeds. Please remember to use gloves while handling the chili to avoid spicy hands. Tasting just the flesh of the chili, we prefer the big red chili from Malaysia or Vietnam because they are least spicy, and we would want to champion its fresh, sweet, tangy flavors in our chili sauce. The Malaysia chili is a little milder in taste compared to the Vietnam one, which has a slightly more intense tang to it. The small chili, unfortunately, isn't for us because it's way too spicy and it numbs our tongue for a few minutes, so there's no way we're gonna make chili sauce out of this. My tongue is already so numb, so I asked Natasha to try the dried chili and she said it tastes very pungent and she prefers the flavor of fresh chili. Since our tongues are a little numb from the spiciness, we used our sense of smell to determine which chili smells the nicest, and we can confirm that the bigger chili has a stronger fragrance while the smaller chili is lighter, and dried chili is as pungent as expected while chili powder smells sweet and fragrant. Overall, we decided to use the big red chili from Malaysia for its freshness and least spiciness. You can find the full tasting notes here. Next component is the acid. In the market, we have lemon, big lime or small lime, known also as calamansi. Some people use white vinegar instead when making chili sauce, but we prefer the extra natural flavors that come from using these fruits, and we like the big green lime the most because of its sweet, fruity fragrance on top of its tart sweetness. The small lime is also good, but the big lime is a little more fragrant and sweet, better than lemon alone, which can be very tart and even a little bitter from the acid. Because the quality of citrus varies around the world, and this acid component is so important in chili sauce, I'm happy to compare and recommend you also do the same to find the best citrus fruits in your market. A sniff test also confirms we'll use the big lime for our chili sauce. The third component is additional aromatics like garlic and ginger. Initially, I wasn't sure if the chili sauce would taste better with or without them, but later we tried sniffing the combination with chili and found it overall more fragrant and enticing. Our favorite garlic from previous tests is always old garlic, and for ginger, we like galanga or old ginger, so we'll use them. Next component is a liquid to cook the chilies in and to thin out the chili blended paste into a sauce. And we'll of course use our rich chicken stock made by simmering the bones for over 24 hours in water to add some chicken flavor to our sauces. Finally, the seasoning component is made up of sugar and salt. While how much we add depends on individual taste and preference of how sweet or salty you like your chili sauce to be, the harder and more important question is how much of each component, the chilies, aromatics, acid or liquid should we add? I believe that the beginning stage here is where we can customize the chili sauce to taste exactly the way we want using our nose, because the ingredients should smell like good chili sauce. If not, we can adjust it right now. Do you want it to be more garlicky? Add more garlic then. Or more spicy? pop in a few more chilies, or more or less ginger, just add or subtract and smell it again. The ginger was too strong initially, so after removing a few slices, it felt more balanced. And as for the amount of liquid to add, I like to add just enough to cover the chilies so that it cooks evenly under a boil. And we are going to thicken it later into a sauce by evaporation. For the sourness component using our favorite lime juice, we added and tasted it as we go along until we decided it is strong enough. Our palate and nose are our guide here, and I believe they are the most important tool in the kitchen to taste and adjust our food until we like it. So I ended up deciding on these amounts of our chili sauce by smell and by taste. Onto the stove to bring up to a soft bubbly boil. Add more chicken stock as needed if it dries up, as we can evaporate any excess moisture again later. When the chilies and garlic have softened and break apart easily with a spoon, we proceed to blend them up into a smooth sauce. I prefer mine ultra smooth because I don't like biting into chili seeds which burst into flames in my mouth. Add a little more chicken stock as needed to the right consistency we want, and add more salt and sugar as needed again using our palate, and keep tasting and adjusting until we're happy with the taste and texture. Then, I pour them out all into a pan to do the final step of evaporation to thicken the sauce if needed, but more importantly, pasteurize it so that it stores longer. And I prefer not to sieve the sauce so nothing goes to waste. The texture will be a little more rustic and fibrous, but hey, fibers are good for health. Bring it up to a soft bubbly boil and stir it like making kaya until it thickens to the consistency we want. And this is our favorite chili sauce for chicken rice.
It's sweet, sour, and spicy. This is a good condiment to add to literally everything. I think it will go well with the chicken. It has a balanced taste adjusted to my taste bud, and I'm satisfied with it. I think it tastes more fresh and natural compared to outside processed sauce.
If we were to use chili powder, I would use a lot less than fresh chilies because the powder is basically dehydrated chili. I'm adding the same amount of the other ingredients to compare how it tastes. To ensure a fair test and the same level of spiciness, here's how I derived the amount of chili powder to use. The moisture content of fresh chilies is about 70%, while chili powder has about 7% of moisture left. So since I used about 100 grams of fresh chilies, the equivalent amount of chili powder I should use is about 28 grams. Cook and blend them up like before, and when we taste it compared to chili sauce made from fresh chilies, we prefer fresh chilies one because it's more smooth, while the chili powder version had still a little bit of sandy grit in the texture, even though I blitzed it already in the highest setting with a blender. We prefer a smooth chili sauce, so we'll use the fresh chili sauce going forward. The final amount of ingredients I used according to my palate are here by percentage weight. The next sauce is ginger sauce, and there are just 3 components: a ginger of choice, a liquid or oil, and seasoning. Remove the ginger skin to get a smoother sauce, and then blend them up with our chicken sauce a little at a time until it reaches our desired consistency. The ginger sauce I envision has a smooth ginger pulp, light beige in color with a refreshing zest of ginger, but not overly spicy. Season with a little salt to taste, and we have ginger sauce. Some people also add extra aromatics like spring onions into the mix, which results in a greenish pulp. Others also use hot oil to release the flavors, but I prefer not to have an oily sauce, and there's actually already a little chicken oil in the chicken stock. So I have here both versions of ginger sauce for a side-by-side taste comparison. Both versions taste nice, but ginger sauce doesn't really impress us as much as the chili sauce. And we're kind of indifferent between the two. The final amounts of ingredients used are right here. The next sauce was my most surprising discovery. The final sauce accompanying chicken rice is a gooey dark soy sauce, and I discovered how to make it from light soy sauce. I have here my staple soy sauce, Kikkoman, which I admit is a compound ingredient, but this is one of the best quality soy sauce here with the fewest number of ingredients and no MSG. And I'm not making my soy sauce from scratch yet because it would take months of fermentation, so this one tastes pretty good already with full round body flavor without any harshness. Dark soy sauce is generally sweeter and thicker than light soy sauce due to added caramel, and store-bought ones also contain MSG and preservatives. So to make dark soy sauce without any additives, we make our own caramel by heating some white sugar in a dry pan, giving the pan a swirl once in a while to melt the sugar evenly. Once the caramel reaches a light amber color, I immediately add in some soy sauce to stop the caramelization and combine the caramel with the soy sauce. And I'm deliberately adding lesser soy sauce than I think I need, as I'm not sure how much soy sauce should be used. So again, I'll add in slowly and taste as we go along. Caramel adds more flavor than just sweetness because the sugar undergoes chemical reactions under high heat and we get lots of new flavors like toasty toffee, which after mixing into our soy sauce should give us dark soy sauce, I think. The problem I encountered though is that the color is not dark enough and the texture is too sticky. So I added more soy sauce and it did turn darker but not black yet. A taste test tells me that the sweet saltiness is just right already, but the color is not dark enough. It's still looking like a chocolate ganache and it's still too thick and sticky. So I need to try again, this time perhaps adding a little chicken stock to thin it out and compensate with a little more soy sauce. And to my surprise, the color starts turning from foamy brown to a jet black goo, exactly the color we want. And as the liquid chicken stock reduces, we get closer to what looks like dark soy sauce. And the taste is amazing. It has this sweet, salty caramel flavor plus an amazing chicken umami. So the chicken stock essentially contains natural MSG, and I'm happy that I invented my own dark soy sauce. Taste-wise, the one with chicken stock tastes almost like a teriyaki sauce because it really tastes like it, whereas the caramel and soy sauce only tastes fudgy and it's too thick at room temperature to be a sauce. After the dark soy sauce with added chicken stock cools slightly, the texture is also on point. Nice, shiny, lazy drizzle that allows me to make some drizzle art like Chinese calligraphy. The final amounts I used here are essentially 1 part sugar, 1 part soy sauce, and 1 part chicken stock in equal weight. With these 3 sauces, which one do we like the most for chicken rice? I think most people would say the chili sauce because it's the only component that has acid and spice to balance the dish. But our answer depends on which part of the chicken rice. We found that with the rice, the dark soy sauce is actually the best tasting sauce as it reminds us of an intense clay pot rice. We could not really appreciate the ginger sauce as much as the ginger flavor fades quite quickly, while the spicy sourness from the chili persists a little longer. The dark soy sauce gives a big boost in umami flavor that sends a rocket of signals up my brain, and I love this lovely gooey drizzly sap over my rice. For the chicken, the chili sauce goes best with the meat as the sour spiciness adds a kick to juicy meat, while the dark soy sauce makes it a little less like poached chicken but more like a teriyaki chicken already, so it kind of overpowers it a little bit. Overall, we agree we need to have both chili sauce and dark soy sauce for chicken rice, and they are made exactly the way we like them for chicken rice.